Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam, and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Tokaido Duo by Funforge Games.
Tokaido Duo is a two-player version of an old familiar game, Tokaido, if you can't piece that together here. And not only is it the two-player game of it, but it looks an awful lot like Tokaido. White box, minimalist art to it, Asian-themed game here. And it's going to have a lot of similarities other than just the looks. The gameplay is going to be similar to Tokaido. But this is a two-player head-to-head kind of game in which you are going to be moving about the board your different meeples, trying to accomplish different tasks with each meeple. And the way that you will do this is that you'll roll 3 dice, you'll select one of the dice to use, then the second player will select one of the 2 remaining dice, and then whatever the third remaining die is left over goes back to the first player. And then you'll rotate. And so that's kind of the idea with how the round works. Let me show it to you in more details down below, and then we'll come back and share thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, I've got Tokaido Duo on the table. Let me show you how this two-player action selection game is going to work. Now, with this game, you are going to have a main board, and you're going to have components for each of the 2 players. You've got a green player and a purple player. Now, I have all the components here for the green player. Just note that the purple player would also have these boards over here, in addition to their meeples that you can see over there. You do have some coins in the game. You've got some smaller ones, some 5s, and then these are going to be 10-piece chips, but they are also going to be something that can trigger the end of the game. And you do have a draw bag with some tokens inside the bag, which we will talk about here in just a minute. Now, with this game, it is only 2 players. You have to have 2 players, no more, no less. And with this one, you are going to be rolling 3 dice. I guess I forgot to mention there are dice in the game. Now, at the beginning of a turn, one player, whoever's going to be that turn's start player, is going to roll all 3 dice and then choose one of the dice for them to use. And then the second player will choose one of the remaining 2 dice to use for their action. And then going back to the first player, they will use the leftover die to do a second action. And each one of these dice corresponds to one of the different meeples here. So you have an artist here, and they are connected with this beige colored die. You have a pilgrim who is connected to the red die, and then you have a merchant who is connected to the orange die. Now, each die is going to have a number on it, and if you select that die, you are going to move your meeple exactly that number of spaces, and you will move along either lines or sections depending on which meeple you're moving. So let's cover what the different meeples do and how they move. Let's talk about the artist first. Now, if you select this die, you will move your artist meeple, which is the one who has a paintbrush, looks like an artist. You're going to move it the exact number of spaces, and artists move into these regions. They don't have to move in a circular fashion. They can zigzag, they can move wherever they want. They just cannot backtrack. And so you move them like so. And what you are trying to do is you're trying to get them into a spot, as you can see way up here, where there are some other characters, whether they be your own or someone else's. You don't count yourself, but you will count however many people are in that region. So for instance, there's an artist here and there's this merchant here. So there are 2 people in that region. Now, you have the option to flip over that number of your painting tiles on your artist board because you are painting for these people in that region. So if I got 2, I would flip over the first 2 starting in the top left, working to the right, and then you'll be working your way down. Now you want to flip over these tiles because each tile is going to have a different symbol on it that corresponds to each of these different regions that you can see on the board, because for a different action that I might do throughout the course of the game is
to sell these paintings. Now I can only sell the particular painting that matches that region on the board, so I want to try to get to those regions and then sell these paintings off, removing them off the board to reveal victory points. And you will want to do this again, left to right, top to bottom, because by the end of the game, whatever the highest number that you have revealed, that's going to be how many points you get for the end of the game. Now, one of the ways the game can end is if you reveal all of these, showing the 40-point symbol at the bottom of the board. That will trigger the end of the game. That is what the artist is good for. Next, let's talk about the merchant. Now, the merchant is going to be moving along these lines. As you can see, they go into the center of these regions and then out to these spots on the board. Now, what you are doing when you move to a center spot here, you're going to draw a number of tokens from this bag that is equal to that spot on the board. So if I move to this village right here, I'm going to draw 4 tokens. Now, these are wear tokens like clothing or articles or something of the sorts. I'm going to draw 4 of these here, and I will keep these off to the side. And what these are, they're going to correspond to the different merchant stands on the sides of the board, because when I get to those spots, I am able to sell them to the supply to gain a number of coins. So if I'm here and I have these 2 items right here, I can sell both of them back for 6 coins. And what I'm doing with these coins, I am trying to get sets of 10, because when I have 10 coins, I can cash them in. I have to cash them, and this is not optional. You have to do this anytime you get 10 coins. You get one of these guys right here, and they're going to go underneath this board right here in the furthest left open slot, and that's going to give you a number of victory points at the end of the game. And one of the ways the game can end is by slotting in your 6th one of these coins for 45 points at the end of the game. You do keep these tokens right here, and so you can only ever have a maximum of 6 throughout the course of the game. Now, that's what the merchant's doing. The last one to cover is the pilgrim. Now, the pilgrim is going to be traveling along the outside of the board. The pilgrim cannot stop on a spot where a merchant's at. They can pass through it, though. You just can't end your turn there. And depending on where you go on the course of the board determines what you're going to be doing with your pilgrim. Now, if you go to one of these merchant spots, you're just going to gain a number of coins that are there on that token. And these are randomly placed on the board, so the game is going to change a little bit every time you play it. So again, you'll just gain those coins, remembering that if you get 10 at any point, you have to cash them in for one of these. If you go to one of these red spots right here, the temple, you're going to advance your token here 1 spot along this track, again from left to right, top to bottom. In the similar fashion, if you visit one of these garden spots, they're green, you're going to advance this token 1 space down this track. At the end of the game, you're going to multiply whatever number this token is at. So let's say it's 5 by whatever number this token's at. So 4, 5 times 4, that's going to be 20 points. And so I'll have 20 points at the end of the game if that's what my board looked like. Now, if you get any one of these to the bottom of the track, that will also trigger the end of the game. So just keep that in mind. And that's really all there is to it. Now, you could get this token right here by going to this spot, and there's a couple of other spots throughout the course of the game. Now, this token's going to let you use one of the dice and then immediately use it again. So you'll get 2 actions back to back if you get that token, and you can steal that from another player if they have it and they've not used it, and you land on one of those spots, you can take it from them. Now, there is also an ocean spot, which will let you take one of these tokens up here, which is going to beef up your ability on the die, maybe subtracting a number so that you don't have to move that full value, or maybe adding a number to it so you can move even further if you wanted to. And that's all there is to the game. When the end game is triggered, you'll finish out that round using all 3 dice, and then you'll count up your victory points, getting points from this board, multiplying that number by that number, getting the highest number of points revealed on this board, and then getting the highest number of points for these slots that are filled in with these tokens. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner, and that is how you play Tokaido Duo. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one.
And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Tokaido Duo from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, the first thing I want to ask you about this game is, what's your first impressions of the look of it? Because it definitely has a unique look to it. Again, very similar to the original Tokaido. It's got this minimalist look to it. just a stark white box with a little bit of artwork on it. Just what were your thoughts about the way it looks?
I think it's really pretty, and I think because of the minimalist artwork, I think it makes it clear kind of what you're supposed to do. I mean,
Okay.
it makes it clear where the spaces are. It's not being overwhelmed by
Sure.
background colors or anything like that. But I thought it was really pretty.
Yeah, it's always been Tokaido, and there's been some other games that are similar in theme and look, and it's always an intriguing look to a game. It's something that kind of makes me want to look at it a little bit closer, and Tokaido Duo does the same thing with that. It's one of the reasons why I decided to buy this game when I saw it at BGG Con. It looks unique. It looks interesting.
It reminds me of, and it's probably not the same creators or anything, but the box reminds me of Villagers. It's
Yeah.
a white box. Yeah.
Different game, different company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see where you're going with that because it is. It's got
Yeah.
that no background.
And you remember it, because usually I don't
Yeah.
remember names of games, but I remember what
Yeah.
they look like.
So let's talk about the way the game plays. Now, a lot of people over the years have called Tokaido one of the most relaxing board games that's ever been made. And I feel like Tokaido Duo follows along in that same suit. What did you think about the gameplay experience with this one?
Yeah, I think after I kind of got used to what each turn would look like, it is there's not a lot of communication that needs to happen.
It's a very quiet game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I always like, not having to hear Lance
Oh, wow.
tell me what to do. But no, it is a very relaxing game.
Okay. And you're also with the theme of it. I mean, it's like you're traveling, you're going on a journey, on an adventure of sorts. It's just a very calming kind of game. So much so, and I've heard other people say this, that it kind of can lull you into sleep, which, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
I don't think I would go that far.
I've heard people say that about Tokaido, and I can see people, saying that about this game as well. And what I mean by that is it doesn't ever feel like many times throughout the game that the decision you're making is super stressful.
Yeah.
Like it's well, this could get me this, or that could get me that.
Yeah.
I'll go with this. Is kind of the feel, kind of the aura with this game, right? Like, I could go with A or I could go with B, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. Now there are definite times where it's more like, I definitely need to go with A because it's going to get me what I need. B doesn't really get me what I need, so I'm going to go with A.
Yeah.
And so there's more clear cut than, what I'm just basically describing. But for the most part, it sort of feels like a free flowy, how do I feel this turn? Let's go this way. Which I know some people out there might hear that and might feel like, I don't know if that's the kind of game I want to play. What for you as a non-gamer is that experience like?
I mean, I think it's great not having to feel that urgency or rush to make every decision. I think I was pretty clear on what my strategy was going to be, and I could move it if I needed to. But there was still, I mean, at the end, it's not like you're playing and you have no idea who's winning or it's so close the whole time.
Right.
Like it's a good balance, because at the end, you are adding some endpoints there,
Sure.
and so there still is there's a reason you're trying to do what you want to do, but it's not so push that you feel stressed.
Yeah, I guess I should be clear in that as the game develops and unfolds, there's definitely clear things that you should be trying to do towards the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I know I'm lagging far behind on selling those paintings, I probably should need to lean in that direction and make sure that I'm getting my painter to the right spots, right? Like, there's going to be some things that are more clear towards the end of the game, but the first half of the game for sure is a little bit more of a, well, I can move the painter, I could do this.
Too, because there's only 2 players and there is multiple options. There's not often times where you're in the same place, or if it is, you'll get to go there the next turn.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, and the way the game works is just that you're gonna get something on every turn, right?
Yeah.
If I'm the first player, I'm getting 2 things. If I'm the second player, I'm only getting 1, but I'm still getting something on every turn. You're getting something. You're making progress along the way. So it's an interesting, different kind of feel for a game. All right, let's get to pros and cons for this one, Tokaido Duo. Sam, what for you as a non-gamer stood out to you in a great way?
I think just the gameplay in general is good for a non-gamer. It's pretty clear once you start playing. The icons are pretty clear. It's a pretty game, so it doesn't feel so, simple that a gamer will be like, well, I don't want to play this. I think it's the artwork and everything can still draw a gamer in, but it's the clarity of it helps you to know what you're going to do. And then, it is a little bit, I don't know, would you call it a point salad? I mean,
maybe some people might consider it to be a point salad because you can get your points in
it's point appetizer.
Yeah, there you go. It's a side salad, side salad.
Yeah. But I think that can be good for a non-gamer too because it gives you multiple ways to get points at the end. And so you don't necessarily know who's going to win. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Some of the things that I really like about it is just that it's a game that, like Sam said, it's free flowy, and as a non-gamer, I believe that it would be something that's low stress, low. Like I have to make the right decision. I have to know exactly what I'm doing from the get-go to know that I'm making progress and I'm going to be able to set myself up to win. Like that's not this game.
Yeah.
There are games that are definitely like that where you can know I've messed up in the first 3 rounds and I've got no chance. This is not that game, right? And I think that's going to be something that can be really nice for a lot of people that need that low stress, especially right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then I need to figure out what it is I'm doing after I've kind of developed a small plan.
Yeah.
This is that kind of game. And I think that's going to work real well for a lot of people. It's a different kind of game. And it's going to work for the people that are looking for that. So, anything about it that doesn't work so great for you as a non-gamer?
I don't think so. I think, there's some of the options that I just didn't veer towards a lot during the game, but I think that's a personal choice, and I still won, even not focusing on certain areas. So I think that shows you like there are multiple ways to win.
Okay.
It's not one of those games where you have to have your mind on every single aspect of it. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to focus on and see how that works for you.
Okay. For me, I think, what does the box say as far as time? 20 to 30 minutes. So I never felt like the game was too long. Mm-hmm. Like I was sat there feeling like, man, this should have, it just feels like it's dragging on. I never felt like it was dragging. I did feel like it gave me too much time to complete my goals.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is going back to what Sam just said, that there were some things that you neglected and yet you still found a way to win.
Yeah.
There were some multiple things that I felt like I poured myself into and I completed them to the fullest extent. And sometimes I want that out of a game, but this one sort of felt like I didn't have to claw and scratch to get to that point. Like it just sort of came to be for me that I was able to get to the finish line on several tasks. And I don't know that that's what I want from a game. Now, obviously, I'm a gamer, and so I'm going to have a different viewpoint on that than maybe a non-gamer. But I would have liked the game to give me fewer rounds so that I would have had a little more stress in, well, I don't think I'm going to get to the finish line on the painting, so maybe I'm better served to go into this area here. That kind of decision.
Yeah.
I don't know that you really have that too much with this one. Okay, so let's get to our scores for Tokaido Duo. Scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. Where does this one come in at for you?
I really enjoyed this game. I'd probably give it an 8.1.
Whoa, 8.1.
Yeah.
You really liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, how come?
I won. No, I do.
Reason.
That's how I base these games.
No.
No, I think I liked all the options that you had, but it wasn't too overwhelming. Because of so many options, I think it was a really good balanced game.
Okay.
And I think it was relaxing, it was fun. The time frame to play it was good. I just think in general for a non-gamer, this checks a lot of boxes.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. And I think this is the kind of game that's made for someone like you, right? Like that is going to be, maybe you've played maybe you've played a lot of games, but you're not somebody.
Still don't like them. They're the people that are about to ask.
But you're not, what I was about to say, you're not somebody who's going to be playing the big, heavy board games, right?
Ever.
That's just not who you are. And I think this is a game that's geared specifically for that person, right? Now, I don't know that that's me, and so I'm going to give this game a 6.5.
Jeez.
Yeah, just because
I think that's the biggest discrepancy we've ever had.
It's a big difference
We
here.
clearly don't talk about these scores.
And not that I don't like the game. I mean, 6.5 is still respectable. But
I don't know. We don't have a lot that low. That's pretty.
But my thing on this one is that it's going to be a very specific time and place for me to pull this one off the shelf.
Yeah, when I say I'm ready to play
when
a game,
I want to play it with you,
this is the one I want to
right?
play.
But then even then, I don't know if I want to play it like at 9:30. Here's how old I am. 9:30 at night when I'm like, man, the day's coming to an end, and I might fall asleep.
You want to play this first thing in the morning? Over coffee?
Maybe, yeah, maybe when I'm more energetic, when I'm more upbeat.
No, I want to play this before bed, and then I can relax and go to sleep.
I don't know.
Lord.
That's just, the game does, it is a very relaxing and not a slow moving game, but it's just that there's not really a lot of excitement happening. It's just more of like, I made some progress here. I made some progress there. You made some progress there. That's more of kind of the flow with the game. And that can be great for a lot of people and a lot of times. For me, that window's smaller than maybe what it is for you. And that's the reason why.
It's like another game that I'll never get to play.
No, golly. No, it's a fine game. It's a fine game.
6.5.
It's fine. And we will probably keep this one in our collection.
Well, yeah, because I rated it 8.1.
Anyway, guys, you're getting a sneak peek into what goes in behind the scenes as far as us playing these games. But I think that's a good thing for you all to see there, because you're going to experience a lot of the similar things, I think, with this one.
They are completely conflicted on whether they're buying this game or not now.
Well, if you are a gamer that plays games... No, hear me out. If you are a gamer that plays games with non-gamers, probably the reason why you watch our channel in the first place, I have a feeling that you will probably experience what we've shown you here, where the gamer will be like, it's okay, and the non-gamer will be like, I really like that one. And that's okay, right? Like, that doesn't mean the game's bad. It might really work well for you guys. For the non-gamer, probably more than the gamer. But again, that's okay. So anyway, that's our thoughts here on Tokaido Duo. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.